quarterback.
Oh, there's a goal. It bounces. Oh, at least I thought he was going to until he blew it.
Baseball season. The rays of hope that occur in March and April are something that can't be replicated. It's the feeling that the doldrums of winter will soon be over. Fresh grass, the sounds of the game, and plenty of opportunities for nights at the ballpark. You know where to head for tickets when the urge comes on. SeatGeek. The resale market will be thriving in the baseball world, and this app aggregates all tickets available in the resale market to help you find the right seats for your budget and viewing preference. It sorts all tickets from red to green on a 1 to 100 scale. You can get a view from where you'll be sitting. You can get scanned into games on the app in most stadiums. A fresh start deserves a bonus. Use the code word TREE in the link below to save $20 off of your first purchase. SeatGeek. It'll save you a few bucks, unlike some of the free agent signings that happened. Why not start with the World Series champions themselves in the Washington Nationals? Yes, it still sounds weird, but it's karma for a certain team that won't be named. It's been business as usual in DC. Ryan Zimmerman is back on a reduced salary. Cabrera, Gomes, and Hudson are back as well. The depth has been loaded up with Mr. T, Bruno Mars, and the defector in Will Harris. There's also that Strasburg question to deal with. Having an outstanding playoff performance means he'll want paid. Washington, may I introduce you to the championship tax? This is when you have to open the wallets a lot more than you'd like for star players. Still a necessary evil. They'll be back though. So if Strasburg got that contract, how much is Gerrit Cole going to be getting? Several high-end suitors, that outstanding postseason? He's in a position of strength. For him, the allure of his childhood dream played a serious role. He will be a New York Yankee. Probably for a long time. It comes with a returning Brett Gardner. Gerrit will say it's because of his old posters he took to Yankees games, but there's probably a better reason why he signed there.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
The final big fish of the free agent market, why another player with a career year in Anthony Rendon? Washington wanted him back, but Rendon wasn't fond of the deferred payments the Nationals are pretty well known for. He wants his money up front and probably sent to his Swiss bank account. Fortunately for him, the Angels are willing to throw more money around to give Mike Trout a true wingman. It's a huge contract, but what about the rest of the team? All they got were more question marks in Meatball Chef Dylan Bundy and a declining Julio Teheran. It's an interesting strategy, but Rendon should be good. I think. How about their neighbors in the Dodgers? How'd they fare on the market?
1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out.
There's also the Hyun-Jin Ryu dilemma. He's gone to Toronto with a fresh contract worth a good deal of coin. At least there's the trade market. There is this team called the Red Sox, and their main goals for this offseason are to save money and, well, save money. Mookie Betts doesn't fit into the plans for their bottom line. So you know what? That's a good recipe for the Dodgers. And all they have to do is take on half of David Price's bloated salary. The Dodgers get more hope until they somehow blow it in October. Boston saves money and gets a few prospects, and Minnesota gets Kenta Maeda in a salary dump. Everybody wins, right? Well, that would be until one of the prospects in the trade showed warning signs during his physical. Days passed with no confirmation. Will Boston be salty again? The answer is yes. LA just had to add a few new prospects to the deal. Even though Red Sox fans are melting down, and for good reason, don't they realize Alex Verdugo is looking to be really good? I mean, he might not be 2018 Mookie good, but he could be an all-star. Just think about that come June. The bringer of rain. After a strong revival in Atlanta, he was a hot commodity for a few teams in the market for a third baseman. The Braves and Nationals were deemed to be the final suitors for his talents. Makes sense, right? But then, like a hawk swooping in to steal their dinner, a third party overtakes them for a contract. Minnesota? Interesting. 4-year deal could get pretty risky for a guy in his mid-30s, but it's a needed injection, at least for the short term. The Bumba squad gets even more power. Just what the AL Central needed. Maybe they can win a game against the Yankees in the playoffs this time. It appears that the Cincinnati Reds believe they can compete next year. Signs were pointing towards them doing this, but they still struggled even with all of the moves they had made. Regardless, they are still tired of losing. This is the year they are going to strike for the NL Central. Begin by poaching a couple of opponents for Mike Moustakas and Nick Castellanos to bolster the hitting core. What about an overseas acquisition in Shogo Akiyama? Wade Miley too, because why not? I mean, if there is a time to do something, this is technically it. It's not like the rest of your division is doing anything. I should take that back. The Milwaukee Brewers have undergone massive turnover in their roster. Some of it is due to free agency, and some of it is because of, well, this. Unsurprisingly, the man behind that error is gone, traded to San Diego for a nice shortstop prospect. He never would have been able to live this down in Milwaukee anyway. Look at all of these names that are gone. That's a lot of production. In their stead comes Brock Holt, Justin Smoke, Eric Sogard, Ryan Healy, and Avasel Garcia. Pitchers, too. In come Brett Anderson and an overseas Josh Lindblom. They're a hard team to predict moving forward, mainly due to all the new faces. The could work out really well, or it could blow up spectacularly, just like that bottom of the 8th. Too soon? For this next segment, we go live to our Cubs correspondent to see how well their offseason has panned out. They should be ashamed. Even the Padres are trying to bolster. Even if ownership may be desperate, they haven't thrown everything away for improvements. They nearly did for Mookie Betts, but the Dodgers had to make sure their big brother complex was still intact. Most of their improvements have been in the pitching. A solid reliever in Emilio Pagan, a somewhat revived Drew Pomeranz, and a depth starter in Zach Davies. There's also an incoming Tommy Pham, so that's a good thing. With prospects coming up, here's for your sake that it will hopefully work. You'll need it for ownership's sake. The same goes for the White Sox. Last season they made attempts towards capturing a big fish, but ended up failing miserably. We laughed at their ineffectiveness, but their youth started to emerge. Another offseason at hunting for game ended up with a little more success. Yasmani Grandal. James McCann is a good catcher, but you can't have enough hitting. Where's Edwin Encarnacion and his parrot? Good too. Extending Jose Abreu, a little risky, but still good. A Bilo acquisition in Nomar Mazara, maybe he'll tap into his outstanding potential. Even the pitching core got a jolt with Dallas Keuchel and Gio Gonzalez. Perhaps this is your time again? It would be nice, but I don't think Cleveland and Minnesota are eager to let you back into the conversation. Philly is still trying to throw money at everything except what they truly need. Sounds like their kind of tradition. If you were paying attention to the Phillies last year, you would know that one of their biggest issues was in team pitching. It all fell apart. How do they fix this? By throwing money at Zack Wheeler. That's great, but what about your bullpen? Do you expect David Robertson to return at full strength, or will we be subjected to another year of the Hector Neris show? He can hopefully be aided by Didi Gregorius and his towering right field bombs. It's better than Franco. I mean, at least they have a manager now, right? The Braves have had a strange offseason. They've done things to bolster and reload after an embarrassing Game 5 against the Cardinals, but I can understand how some fans think their ownership is cheap. There's a third base-sized hole after losing the bringer of rain. You can wax all the poetic about how Austin Riley has promised, but that's all it is. Promise. Do I think they're going to collapse on themselves? Of course not. It's just that there seems to be some concerning elements. The starting rotation will have to see more emergences from the youth. An old mule in Cole Hamels helps a little, but how much does he have left in the tank? The bullpen gets another jolt in Will Smith, so here's to hoping there's a three-headed monster back there. The lineup itself gets Travis d'Arnaud and Marcell Ozuna to join, so I mean they're spending. I just don't know if it's going to be enough for Braves fans. For as much shit as I may give Liberty Media, at least they aren't Cleveland. Not only dealing with relentless rumors about trading away Lindor, they learned that Corey Kluber is now gone. It's true that Kluber wasn't the same pitcher last year and he's been dealing with injuries, but it still stings. Also that they got table scraps in return, but it's a huge salary for a risky acquisition. In other news, the Rangers also got Todd Frazier for the new stadium. Maybe it'll do something for them besides mediocrity. Arizona had an interesting situation this offseason. They sold off assets over the past year, yet they surged to the point where they nearly made the postseason. Despite Arizona's intentions of rebuilding for future runs, they've decided to strike while the iron is hot. Two big names were brought in for a push. Mad Bum. Yes, Mad Bum in a Diamondbacks uniform. It'll be weird and he isn't the same pitcher that he was, but he'll still be a bedrock of that rotation. Secondly, Starling Marte. He had his most complete season last year in Pittsburgh and should be a great asset in center field for the next few years. Hopefully he doesn't fall off soon. He's a good player and he deserves playoff baseball. Goddamn Pirates. You had one job, Colorado. To not piss off Nolan Arenado. Even in this endeavor, they failed miserably. Once again, no matter what, Arenado offers you more value than what you could get in a trade. Now it may come down to such a deal to recoup value. The problem was that Arenado was expecting the Rockies to do something in the offseason. What did he get instead? Crickets. Colorado did nothing to fix their terrible pitching issues. They've probably gotten scared since every acquisition in that regard is blown up in their faces. This causes Nolan to get quite pissed. He has demanded a trade from the organization not even a year after signing a massive extension. Arenado smells a rat, and Jeff Bridich is either too conservative or his hands are tied by ownership. Not too good, man. Not too good at all. Sorry, Colorado. No, I still don't get what the Rays are doing. They ship off Tommy Pham and Emilio Pagan for Manny Margot and Hunter Renfroe, send a top pitching prospect for Jose Martinez and Randy Arozarena, and look to Japan to sign a slugger in Yoshitomo Tsutsugo. Nope, still puzzled. Although it's been working, so who the hell am I to judge? Maybe this potential transition to Montreal for half a season will end up working as well. Seems like the kind of magic Tampa has had in transactions as of late.
Wait, SpongeBob! We're not cavemen! We have technology.
Out to the gap. Right center field. And Jordan sends one high and deep to right field. And Jordan Alvarez has hit a home run. Ball driven deep to left center field. That's hit ball. And this ball is gone. Torrijos drills one deep to left field.
Dusty Baker? You completely panicked in the opposite direction? I was right, last year's World Series was karma. There is no other answer. I completely get why the MLB doesn't want to strip the Astros of their World Series title. They don't want to talk about it 50 years down the road. They want to bury this black eye on baseball as far as they possibly can. Honestly, why should they be allowed to? Most of Houston's players have zero remorse for their actions and are merely sorry that they were caught. They've become the most hated team in baseball. Opposing players want them dead. Dodgers fans are split between a massive victim complex and wanting this to go away so they don't have to be reminded of said World Series. Their city council should just stop, though. They're embarrassing themselves. The worst part of this to me? Game 5 of the 2017 World Series was one of the best games of baseball I have ever seen. It was high scoring, yet it was intense and raw in emotion. That game is forever tainted. I can't think of it the same way since, yes, the Astros were probably cheating the whole damn time. I'd bitch more, but the MLB is obviously more interested in contracting minor league baseball teams and throwing out cheap gimmicks for the postseason. Perhaps we should put the commissioner on a piece of metal as well. Terrible stuff. This isn't over. There's plenty of ripples in this story that have affected other teams. Alex Cora, manager of the Red Sox, being one. He was the bench coach of that 2017 squad. In fact, there were allegations that he brought the same system or something like it to the Red Sox in 2018. You know what this means. The Wolves are coming. Boston didn't even wait for punishment. They flat out fired Cora before it happened. Another one bites the dust. You wanted a new manager? Well, you get Ron Roenicke on an interim tag. Talk about kicking the can down the road. You know it's not an off-season without some Mets shenanigans? Boy, do we have a doozy for you! Our new manager, Carlos Beltran. He was also involved in the Astros sign-stealing scandal. Such great leadership is deserving of a permanent position, but backlash from the baseball world got to him. Beltran has resigned from his post before he even managed a game. Here is the dilemma. Do we accept that it's an unfortunate circumstance that's completely out of the organization's control? Or take the cheap way out and call it LOL Mets? You know our answer. Everyone loves cheap narratives. Just like Steve Cohen. He desired to purchase the Mets from the coupons. Celebrations ensued from the fan base. They would be free, they thought. Little did they know that LOL Mets would once again strike in the worst way. The Wilpon family kept changing the terms of the agreement and Cohen backed out of the deal. As perfect a meeting as Yoenis Cespedes hunting a wild boar on his ranch. These fine pitchers and reclamation projects will be thrown into the fire as we somehow waste our potential for another year. It's the only way we roll in Mets land. Thank God for the Knicks.
Pablo pops it up. And
He drops the ball. They're waving him. Here comes the throw. The relay. It's wild. The Giants have won it.